Sound check, sound check. Greetings of the season, Dorothy. I see you. How are you guys? Can you hear me, guys? Mutamboke, molibihavuti, mokaravuti basa, gamubola, basa, gamubola. Iseni mukwai tule mita. Not quite a guest. Today I'm featuring a youth. He is going to be our main speaker today. I'm featuring Ellington Chipoka, a youth from the Copper Belt. Yes, guys. So, isen mkwai. Tule mita mkwai, mwaika lashani, compliments of the season. Danny, yes. Thank you all the guests and our family. Thank you, Facebook family, for being with us. Hey! Welcome, my son. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Mom. You're looking fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. We have to keep up with the young ones.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me just share the show to as many as I can as well.
Yes. Let's greet our guests. Moisen Mukwai, share your location. You know, I get excited when I see your location. So share your location. It tells me that we are international. We are global, guys. Share your location. For me, I'm in West Coast, California, and we thank God for social media because we are able to connect. This is whatever, one location. Actually, that's the right word. The right word is one location, guys, and the whole location is the internet. Mwaiseni, share your location, guys. Tuposhanye tufike kwa nangu 50. Tufike kwa nangu 50 so that tuambile pamo. I have my honorable son today. He is a vibrant youth. Imiti Kula. This is the face of Zambian politics. This is the face of Manda Hiukam 2026. Imisepela. Start marking your territories. Start marking your constituencies. Zambia, your youth, you are 70% of the population. So 70% of rulership in Zambia should be by the youth because they will make decisions which affect them. Yes. Share, guys. Tufike kwa nangu 50 elo twalayamba. Let me just read your comments as you are joining in. We'll be having our last show of the year on Friday. So on Friday we'll have our last show and then we'll take a break for the year. Yes. So that you guys can enjoy the holiday with your families. Zane, I see you. Maud K, how are you? Messi, I see you. Good morning. Kelvin, good morning. Astrida Chilekwa, I see you. Welcome, guys. So the topic today is the state of the nation. My young son there is in the chair. So he's going to be our guest speaker and I'll allow him to take over the show. He will speak according to his agenda and we can allow you guests to come in and answer questions as well. So the floor is yours. You can get started.
Thank you so much, Ma'am. I'm really humbled. Good evening, my fellow youths, my parents, my uncles, my relatives, my brothers from wherever you are. You're welcome. This is our country. So altogether, this is our show. So I'm really humbled that you are participating. You can leave a comment, you can add a suggestion, you can put a contribution so that we are together. What we're doing here, just as a caution, we don't take sides. we speak facts and on merit, and as we discuss, we do not single out an individual unless it is necessary, but we bring out issues that are affecting our country, that are affecting us, the youths especially. Kwemisepera ala ndemye mwechalo ngata tuitumbire mufya kuteke chalo cheso. It will be a very terrible job for us to do when we are in our 40s, our 50s, because right now ero tukweta maka. So when we have the strength, let's engage each other, because by the way, the world is evolving. You need to understand that. So when the world is evolving, we need to evolve with the world. We need to move at its pace. So please, let us share the video. Let us engage each other. Let us bring out, let us speak out. Let's not die from the inside. I can say comment volume, sir, please. Am I loud enough now? I hope I am, because I'm actually on top of my voice. So,
you are loud and clear.
Thank you. Let's bring out, let's express ourselves. Alachino echalo cha Zambia, echalo fetwa kwata. So if we don't speak about the ills that we are observing, if we don't talk, then who's going to speak for us? There are a lot of things right now that are going wrong in the country. Not everything, but there is a lot, and we need to work together. It's us, the young people, right now, February 30, February 35 and below, because our children will make sure they hold us accountable if we do not make sure we hold accountable our leaders today. Because our children who are 2 years old, 5 years old, they'll come and ask us one question. Dad, Mom, where were you when these things were happening? Mwarikwi, what did you do? And believe me, it will be very depressing for you by then as a parent or as a grandparent. You start receiving such questions. So let us do our best for our generations to come. We know someday we'll have to go, but let us play our part. We've seen the leaders that have played parts. We've seen Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, we've seen the Levi Mwanawasas, we've seen the Kaundas, we've seen the Satas, we've seen all these leaders, and even the ones who are currently around. There will be a time when they will go. So who's going to remain carrying on the battle? It's you and me. It might not be me right now, but one day it will be you or me. And I want to be proud knowing that that person who is carrying that battle did play a part when things were going wrong. That is why we're here. And that is my message. We have an agenda. We're going to discuss a lot of topics. I will read them out because I wrote them down. I didn't want to forget them, but I'm going to elaborate a lot more. So please take note of them. Most of them tonight we're going to talk about. Mama, welcome. Mama, I'm very happy to see you. I'm very happy because you are always our wisdom. Thank you so much for coming through. Please greet the people so that before I proceed.
Thank you so much, Masani. Good evening, Sani. Morning,
Good morning, good night, Mama.
invite abantu abengi pakutila tuingasambirishanya tuishwe ngesyo na ufo mwana lela ndokutila bushe chishwala shila bana besu chalo chesu Zambia pantu ifo na tupita shila bana besu chalo chesu Zambia bushe twala bachishubwa tapata bushe twala ova shilo konaita bushe twala bashilo bupuba bushe twala bashilo kwendo gwamba kashi fingi filimo bushe twala bashila bakabepa bwimini bushe twala bashilo kana iru kanshi ayo ma topics lela ndapona totela we mwana mwaume sami pale timwatu alilira. Thank you so much.
Yeah, mkwai mama, I'm very humbled. Don't mtende ngana among you, my parents. I feel very, very protected wisdom wise because I know that I'll be guided. And to you, our viewers, and you who are with us today, feel free to correct where you feel we are not stating the actual position. Feel free to contribute. We are not here to punish or push someone. Feel free to say, my brother, there, I think the way things are done is like this. I might not know it all. You can say, okay, my mother, I think apumwalanda nifi. Muchalo, abalandati, amano yafuma muifwesa, yaisa na muchuru. I will not know it all. So you need to tell me, you watching me from Muchinga province, you watching me from Southern, you watching me from Northern, you need to tell me kwamba tukunok Southern nifi liko nifi. Mulanda fefi liko kopa belt fieka, mulanda fefi liko lusaka fieka. Ifi liko nifi. If Northwestern Nifi, that is how you are going to help each other to know what you are going through. So the agenda for tonight, we're going to discuss, first of all, we're going to discuss constitutional reforms. These are very important.
mwebale kutike eribyachi okulingana ne mwana omwaume asutila iyi program ya Zambia yonse mutupinda tonse mutu all corners of Zambia northwestern western province yonse mkwaya ma provinces Copper Belt bonse mkwai mwaka kulwa muli abantu ngwa na imwe bene okuchita follow page yabakwini 10 nga mwachita page mwatara request kutila na ine ndefa yokulunda po pafyo sa muli abantu ngwa mkwai bala mitsa invite kabiri na imwe tumfo etona imwe fyo mule pitamo kabiri chala wananga nshinga chakutila twala kwato kulaitela 5 minutes pakutila bonse mweba lefwa yokulanda po na imwe mwa abantu landa po mweba bemba bonse abena bonse mkwai mwakula mfwe chisungu nabo mfwe chibemba mkwai na totela we mwana omwaume tubatwali.
Ma'am, you can pick it up.
Yes, thank you so much. So welcome, guys. We are just asking you to do one thing. Share the page. Share the page. This is a human rights-based page. We are here to promote our human rights. We are here for the youth, especially. Youth, stand up for your rights. We are living in a partial dictatorship in this country right now. I want to really know when so people are failing to make comments, but I'm here to tell you to say Zambia is a democracy. We are a signatory to the United Nations Human Rights Declaration, and we have a human rights office there in Lusaka. And today I am proud to say Laura Miti, is it Laura Miti? She said that she stood up to condemn the government on the appointment of Pilato. This is what we want. We do not want our human rights activists to be quiet or to be mute because they have been appointed in a position. So that being said, I'm going to read human rights number 19. I will always be writing this. I'll always be reading this. Human right number 19, freedom of opinion and expression. Everyone has the right of freedom and opinion and expression. This right includes the freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, impart information and ideas through any media, regardless of frontier. So, Zambians, I have a link. My page is an educational page. There's a lot of information there. Know your rights. I have printed the human rights here, printed them. Even you, if you have a passion in your heart to speak for Zambians, if you have a passion for change, I urge you to print these human rights so that if your boss confronts you to say why Ulela and against the government, it is your right. If a police officer comes to you, show them the right. Also preach the Constitution of Zambia. Emma weapons, yes. We freedom fighters, our weapons are the Zambian Constitution and the Declaration of Human Rights. Those are our weapons. So if you are here to speak for your people, your tool is the Zambian Constitution and the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights. Know your rights. Do not be intimidated. And lastly, before I hand over to you, my son, we have heard that, you know, if somebody takes a case to the police, these politicians, they are compromising our police departments. Politicians, let the police work independently. We have heard that politicians are calling police officers to say, don't act, don't do anything. Police officers, you are employed by the Zambian people. Your pay comes from public fund, taxpayers, and national assets of the country. Your pay does not come from a politician who was hired by the people of Zambia. Police officers refuse to be used by these politicians because they are going. Police officer, your job is you're a civil servant and you're hired until you retire, 30 years. Police officer, your job is signed, sealed, and delivered for 30 years until you retire. Why are you going to kiss up to a politician who's there maybe for 5 years? Why? And jeopardize your retirement? Because we are coming after you. We are taking note of you politicians police officers who are taking orders from politicians. We are taking notes. So police officers, I'm asking you to uphold the Constitution, the boss of the Zambia Police and all defense forces and all civil servants. Your boss is the Zambian constitutions. Politicians will come and go. I end here. Thank you, Mama. And my son.
Before mwanatala isaba kwinipumi, ndefa yo kulondolwela abena Zambia, amashiwi mwalanda ya kankalanga nchi. Mwaso kutila, ino page tulipo, ni page yama human rights, insambu shenu. Mwebena Zambia kuchilishapo, bali yabonse abena Zambia abashasambirira, abashayishbensa mshabo, abashayishwa no upilibula wa constitution, nangu human rights ho chipilibula, kanchi bakwini mpumi basi sokutila, i page te page yama politics iyo. I page ni page ya kulandila po, insambu shabalanda, nga chakutila, ubuteko, ubuleso po mutende wabantu, balufyanya, china ikwate nsambu ishingisa no kupitila, muli human rights the constitution ya chalo ukulondolwela bena Zambia efo chile pilibula eba kwini mpumi na kuchilisha po balando kutila ba yusi stand up for your rights imeni pakutila mwonsi nsambu shenu muikala shi kwa cha Zambia kulanda kwa ba kwini mpumi ila cha Zambia umuntu ulionse afiro kwata muchalo cha Zambia umuntu onse afiro kwata ubuntu pantu mwina Zambia afyani umutoto wako walala pa mushini wa Zambia echo kanchi na bakaunda bapo kepokolola mkwai insambushi wabo wa chalo cha Zambia ero kabili balando kutya bakwini mpumi mushikubwale for the first time batasha balola miti kuba against the appointment Yesu Pilato kanchi appointment bakwini mpumi balando kutila balola miti lero naba mitashe chine pakuimini na shikanga na mayo ukumona kutila tachiene ukutila uyumwa iti ukuya ikala pali chile floor ero kabili kwini mpumi balondo muri human rights balondolo bachimenenga kuchilembwa muri human rights bachimenenga pana inti ukutila umuntu onzali kwa freedom iya tontonkanyo yonsayo wale tontonkanya ukuyasasa kuchialo pakuti ya umfika aba mano babula motubili nangukamo eno balando kutila mwebena Zambia muikala tondolo iyo mwalikwata ekintu ekimyiminirako ikyaba ng'ekisolobero ikyakwenda nayo but tupeera na example tetuye kumabala okwabula olukaso kanshira ifo fwena Zambia ikisolobero twakwata nangwe ifuti twakwata ni constitution yalo na pali ichoba kwini mpumi baipisho mwina Zambia onse ukuyafwa ya constitution pakuti ale vere ngensambusha kwa bwino mukyalo cha Zambia na kabili bakwini mpumi baikata kumulandu wabakapokola nangula babuju bakwini mpumi baikata kulyashirya bakapokola okutira bakapokola bamisoka kuli bakwini mpumi okutira bene omulandu okutira bali berengezya bembwa mu constitution bamyeba okutira imwe boss wenu bakapokola ni constitution not ba politician because ba politician balaya muri 5 years imwe bakapokola ni 30 years nendala mufola tesha ba politician yo ma tax era baputuira abantu indala mashaba bonfi endala mashenu kanshi mwira salute ama salute kuli ba politician bakanya pantu mukusalute ba politician mwa lubachirashita na imwe bakulabi mwenamo bomeni ichito ukukonkana na constitution pantu enkonto mwete kwena emashiwi aya londola bakwini mpumi pakashitaka nono na totera mkwani. Nice.
You can go ahead, my son.
Thank you so much. In the interest of time, to our viewers and our brothers watching from everywhere, I will not use a lot of Bemba when I'm a Zambian. No Bemba tulanda techlanda kova mama kwena. So I'll be using Bemba where I can. But for the interest of time, I want us to get into the agenda for tonight's discussion. I read some comments, people saying what's the agenda for tonight. So take note, these are the following agendas that we're going to discuss, and we're going to discuss them in length so that you should understand. And I'm also going to touch on a few topics that have been already touched on by our mothers here. So the first on the agenda is we're talking about constitutional reforms. Constitutional reforms, because constitution is what governs the entire country, including our president, including our ministers, including our permanent secretaries or appointees. It's a constitution. Only for those who choose not to be part of it, those who want to break or breach the constitution, those are the ones who feel ungovernable by the constitution. But actually, the law of the land, the supreme law, is the constitution. So we're going to talk about what is wrong in our constitution. What do we feel needs to be touched on for the constitution to protect coming generations? Because this constitution, by the way, has first amendments, but not adequate. Tayafika palevo tuifuaida po constitution okufika. So we're going to touch on that. Then we're also going to touch on the cost of living. This matter is a pending one. Tayaleka, tayayimininapo, itwajirafe. It's a pending one. We're also going to touch on investments in the country. I'm picking some of these things that were left out in the press conference yesterday by our president. And I'll give you some of the reasons why I feel they were left out. Because here, as we said, we are not here to favor anyone. We are here to speak facts. And if those that are listening can know the errors they are committing behind us, we're going to talk about undeveloped areas. Like I said, feel free. Those are your towns. In this 21st century, when Zambia is exporting power, feel free. Bring it on. We're going to talk about those undeveloped areas. We're also going to talk about the salary wage and the health in our country. If you're not touching a chinto, so I'll need maybe for all of us to follow properly. Then we're also going to talk about the treasury. So all these, I'll start with the constitutional reforms. Constitution, personally, I feel we have lost it where we cannot reform the constitution. Look, my mothers, when we look at when the constitution was being enacted, it was enacted by then with the help of those that colonized us. Baba to colonize. Abasungu filaba ishe take mfine ever partially. This constitution came from them. And these laws were enacted not to favor us. Okay? We should understand that these laws were not there to favor us. They were there to favor them. By then, actually white supremacy, you can't work in a certain place. It's a law. They had made that into a law. You can't go into a certain place. You can't do certain things. When you're found, mulandu, kukaka, kukuipaya, those were the laws. Only a few things have changed. And I'll give you these examples. Have you noticed that even as we stand today, there are certain people who cannot walk into the, for example, I live in Indore. There are certain people who can't walk into Indore City Council. There are people who can't go and see the town clerk. There are people who can't go and see director legal or director admin. Now those laws, who is putting them in effect? White supremacy. We can't be talked to, we can't be advised, we can't be touched. A white supremacy. So those laws need to be abolished. Because look, if we're going to live by the same laws, where you can't even say anything. Today, if your vehicle is stopped by some traffic police, you have no right to speak. You are stopped today, impounded, you have nothing to say, just pay. You can't express yourself. Those are white supremacy laws. You cannot address a minister. Now, I a minister, minister, who are you? What do you want? But you have got all the rights under the same constitution to visit any office in the country, including the office of the president. For those that don't know, I want us to educate each other. So those white supremacy laws are still in place. They might say, if today I wrote a letter and I wrote a request to the president to say I am requesting for an audience, I can assure you it will take the next 4 years until Wakupampando for me maybe to chance to see him. Those are restrictions we're talking about, white supremacy, because they feel, our leaders feel they can't be touched, they can't be, you can't get hold of them. We understand their procedures and protocols to be followed. We know you cannot just boom, you have to go through the secretary, through the what. But even though those that know what I'm talking about, those that have tried, even as little officers as such as the mayor in a city, we see those things. Oh, Monze mayor, Mazabuka mayor, oh, Chinsari mayor, you can't access them. Even those in the bushes, they still feel white supremacy. Ba mayor bakumpanga, mayor but never kumpanga won't say you can't access them. They feel that supremacy. But now by doing so, what have they done? They are blocking initiatives, they are blocking opportunities because you who wants to see the mayor in the bush, maybe you have a good business proposal, maybe you have an investment proposal, but because you are black, get this from me, because you are black with a black skin like Mr. Chipoka, you will not go there and you allow you, but take a white man there, you'll be given audience. Take a foreign national, take an Egyptian, go with a Turkish national. You'll be given an audience. They'll even appreciate you for bringing him. But you won't go awake. You'll be thrown out. They'll tell the secretary, tell them I'm not around. White supremacy. So this has been in the mindset of those people. We need to remove that. The president should be approachable. He should be advisable. The ministers should be approachable. They should be advisable. These people are elected by you and me. And the constitution says every electorate has got the right to walk into any public office. My fellow youths, our brothers and sisters, read the constitution. The constitution is very clear. It says every electorate will vote 16 and above. Will vote 18. Mayor at an on time. Of course, you won't go and see him to fight him or to beat him, but you have got the right to seek audience, to say, I want audience, what is going on? And they have to give you the audience. That is only white supremacy. Number two, on constitutional reforms. I'm still there for about 5 minutes. Constitutional reforms. This thing of appointing MPs at ministerial positions, this tendency of appointing people I'm talking about this tendency of MPs being appointed ministers. I think that our constitution should be revised. What I mean by our constitution should be revised is simple. Look, it is very difficult for me to fire an MP who I belong to the same party with. No, but do you know why it's difficult to get rid of some of these people who are not performing? It's because we are very close to them as leaders. We are very familiar with them. And then if they don't function, if they don't do their duties, we feel it is going to be unfair. Look at the way health sector is performing in the country. Are you saying that the people in that sector are doing their best? The answer is no. Before we even blame the president, or we blame the secretary of the cabinet, or the finance minister, let's look at who is the head of that department. The department which is failing, who is the head of that department? If the head cannot execute their duties properly, don't even go to as far as the president. Don't even go to as far as finance minister or whoever. It's them. But because these people are coming from the same party and they are an elected person, they deserve that. No. If we want these ministries, to function properly, if we want these ministries to function, let us start appointing people on merit, people who are qualified for the job, people that know what it takes to provide things in the ministry. This example I've given for Minister of Health, we're talking about drugs. The whole country is in shortage of drugs. It's not the Minister of Health to get money in her pocket to pay for drugs. No. But it is the initiative. It's a mindset that we need. We need the plan. Where is the plan? If there are no plans, then just know the person is not important in that segment. So on constitutional reforms, we need a lot. The Public Order Act, the way that public citizens are treated, be it by police, be it by what. By the way, Mami Pumi, you spoke of the police. I have to mention this. Even the police, most of them, as we speak, they are victims. They can't do their due diligence. They can't do their jobs. Why do I say they are victims? We have junior police officers. We have police officers who are sober, who want to do the correct thing. But they are being compromised. That we should not run away from. They are there. It's not everyone. But because we've got those in hierarchies that are compromised, that are hungry for power, that are doing favors to whoever is appointing, that is the problem we have. So you find that but I have got an assurance for these young police officers who are growing up, who are coming. Stand your ground. I can tell you here now, my friend, wherever you are a teacher, you are a nurse, you are a police officer, you are a soldier, stand your ground. Know your principles. You are saving the country. You're not saving an individual. Today you'll be fired, but I can assure you to say, a time will come when justice will come. A time will come when you'll be appreciated for your service. We know these people who are, we know that they are there. We can't point them out one by one. I'll tell you that we know that they are teachers who spend their entire time trying to create a better child out of every school-going child. There are those nurses that want every patient to recover with everything in them, but they are restricted because they can't give life into another person when only drugs can. You understand? And they are not drugs. It's not magic. We know there are those police officers that really want to protect their communities. I'm telling you, Mdara, stand your ground. Stand your ground. I can assure you. That time will come. We know you are underpaid, which is unfortunate. In a country that is second largest copper producer, a police officer getting 6p in Kwacha. My brother, stand your ground. We know things are tough. But I assure you to say, that time will come. By now, this country is supposed to be swimming in money. It produces valuables. It's supposed to be swimming in money. And the money is there. The president just confirmed yesterday. For those of us that, that want to argue with me, the president was confirming. Since some of you, my fellow youths, you only want to listen to leaders and not to us. Here I can challenge you to say the president himself, he said it, to say in 1 year, we have managed to accumulate ABCD $1 billion. He was on TV. The money is there. Now, the question I have is, we have the money for what? We have the money in reserve, but we don't have drugs. We've got the money in reserve, but our police are underpaid. Our soldiers are underpaid. Our teachers, we have money. This statement, anyone who wants, let them take it out there. This is a question I'm posing. He said, our president, Mr. Hakainde, he said, we have managed to secure these funds. He didn't say the money is coming. He said the money is there. And two, he added by saying, we have even borrowed. You understand? We have added on by borrowing at a 0-point-something interest, which obviously none of us cares at whatever interest. But the thing is, they have borrowed. One, the money is there. Two, they have reserved the money they got from the first quantum. It's there in capital shares. It's there. Now, the money is there for what? When the roads are very terrible in the country, the money is kept. When the teachers and soldiers and nurses and police officers are underpaid, the money is there for what? When there are no drugs in hospitals, people are dying every day, the money is there for what? When the street children are roaming the streets in rain season, they don't have shelter, the money is there for what? When all these things are happening in a country that has money, so we have the money for what? Look, it's like in a family, me, my children are going hungry, and I've got money in the bank. I have the money for what? That can only imply one thing, and don't quote me wrong. I'm not saying this is being directed to the president, but to the people that know that they are the ones responsible for these monies. It just shows one thing. They don't care. They are irresponsible. Because that money is for the country. That money, it is for the country. Ya chalo. That street child past street yakwe. The money is there, but we have farmers that are getting Meda fertilizer. The money is there. It's for what? Come on, my fellow youths. Let's ask ourselves. Let's not be blinded. The money is there for what? We go away from that. He said that we have increased investment. Okay, let's get there. Me, I like speaking facts. We have increased investments. Now, this is not making sense for a lot of people that I came across after the press briefing. I am non-partisan. I'm neither UPN nor PF. You can call me maybe names and think otherwise. But the truth that I'm telling you, if you sit down by yourself, you see it. We have increased investments by 5%. Okay, now, we have borrowed money, and we even have our own money in. What is the investment? What are the investors for? To come and give them tax-free holiday? Come on. Let's be serious. If we have borrowed money at 0.5% and we have money in coffers, we can invest in our own mines. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to have economics degree to understand that. If you have borrowed billions of dollars from the IMF and you have billions in your coffers, you don't need an investor in your mine. You can invest your own money, because what they have simply done, let me educate. They have borrowed money to put in the coffers, and they have billions sitting in coffers. Then they are depending on the peanut change coming from the investor. That peanut change is what they'll be getting ukusunako nokupera ba IMF. Are we thinking, if you cut out the investor and you invest the whole amount you have borrowed, you are going to make 10 times without a middleman. Now, you have brought investors, understand, to invest, and they give you peanuts. Some of them are even on tax-free holiday as we speak. Then you've got money in coffers. For what? The money is sitting idle. For what? It's not making sense. Our health sector is collapsing. By the way, someone today was telling me, no, the medicines have been put in the budget for 2023. Yes, there was a budget. But okay, let's be factual, Mama, here. Not quarter, 10 days between today and 2023. 10 days. Where is the emergency fund? that can save lives in these 10 days, because that budget is only coming in effect in January. So between now and January, so are we going to let our people die in 10 days as we wait for 2023? We can't have some of those billions in the coffers. We can't have an emergency fund where we can even buy drugs locally, because they'll give an excuse saying buy procurement is a process for tendering what. No, you can put an emergency fund. You can get drugs emergency within the country. You can tell pharmacies or pharmaceuticals to say bring drugs to health care facilities and we'll pay you, and they will deliver, because private pharmacies have got Panadol, they've got Septrin, they've got all these drugs, but the government doesn't have. You're waiting for 2023. Arawane, feel what the poor Zambian is feeling. If you have a medical scheme which you pay for, you manage, you drive a vehicle with full tank, can you at least have the heart to think for that person who doesn't have? There are people that are dying on the way to the labor ward in this country today because a vehicle during this rain season cannot reach their places. We have got people dying in hospitals where there is flooding. Hospital so muchpatala where diseases are there, and you are there saying no, but you see tamukweta man. I can assure you, if this government means well for the people, let it reduce the cost of living, let it improve the sanitation, let it put drugs, let it improve the welfare of civil servants. Some of these civil servants, you know, they give them promise after promise, after promise after promise. We know our brothers are taking care of 10, 20 kids, their mothers in their villages, but you are paying them peanuts while it's keeping money in coffers. Are we being realistic? Where our fathers got money in the bank and we are starving, are we okay? Tell us. Maybe I'm just speaking. If maybe you, my mother, can say, my children, don't worry, your father has got money in the bank, but he will stay hungry. Is that okay? It's not making sense. The president said it yesterday. He said we have the money. He said, and I repeat, he said we have the money. We have money, no drugs. We have money, poor salaries. We have money, and this is not the only money, by the way. We've got money in coffers. We also have money in the soil. This soil that we walk on is money. This soil, is money. It's copper rich. It's emerald rich. It's manganese rich. It's zinc rich. This soil that we walk on, it's money rich. Zambia, with 19 million population, cannot be this poor. But the only reason is because you want us to always praise even the nonsense that our leaders are doing. Because you get paid change, or maybe you're one of those who go and beat up bus drivers in Kamwala to get 40 kwachas. Maybe you're part of those. But we are not. We don't get money like that. We work. Zambians don't need free things. You are subjecting your own people to poor load shedding whilst you are exporting electricity. You can only export excess. We can have Congo, our friend in hunger. We can have all these things.
My son, I just want to, when I see someone like Andrew Lupindula saying bitterness and putting too much smiley faces, it's like, you know what, I don't want to insult you. You, Andrew, if that's why chalo chile onaika. Uyu kunobe adela detia manu waisa mkulemba bitterness not too smiley faces. Vanoko. Na we so pantwe ba kufundire butu diebo. We talking about serious matters here. People are dying in hospitals. And then we have a president who's saying money is there. We have street kids sleeping on the street. There's no program by this government to fund or create something to end child homelessness, orphans out there. desk in my classroom. They are bragging free education. And you have the nerve to say, bitterness, get off my page, you are lost. Teachers have been recruited. Some of them up to now, they have not been paid. And we have the president who is saying, you know, he's detached from reality. Our president, sorry to say, is detached from reality. He was saying yesterday, just form a cooperative, the money will be there. Which money? We had an honorable minister Munir the other day, a member of parliament, sorry, correction, a member of parliament, Rumezi, he has not been funded, his CDF has not been funded for a member of parliament, Rumezi. And then the president is saying, like, Zambians are not idiots. Like, what the hell is going on?
For those that think CDF is reality, I'll give you homework because I'm well informed. I'll give you homework. Why do you think they're using Zanaco Bank for every check in the CDF? Think, Zanaco Bank is a government bank. Government can manipulate a government institution, but they cannot manipulate a private entity. If CDF is true, let us see other accounts and other banks exercise the same, do the same exercise as the Zanaco is doing. The checks are being shown. Go to institutions where those checks are supposed to be cashed in. Ask them to say, this check was cashed in. Do we have the funds in? They'll give you the response. The problem is, you are not exposed. You always watch things on social media and you think the world is like that. Yeah, go into reality. Let them, whoever means to comment in a negative way, fine, we understand. Maybe you have your own version of what's going on. Maybe, just maybe, but out of respect, we'll ask you to say, go and inquire. Here in Indora, I can give institutions as an example that are almost barely surviving, but they were given a check of 2 million kwacha. But they can't survive. Where's the money? They were given a check, and because it's a government check, they cannot speak. You who's saying money is there in CDF, get a check and go and cash it. We'll see if your account will be credited. Let me tell you, do you know why Honorable Bino Wampundo was saying CDF is a scam? You don't think people don't think. You think people don't understand. You think people are able to be, it's not everyone, my brother. My brother, you were saying bitterness. In case you think everyone can be, maybe like you, short-sighted, you can't see what other people can see. It's not everyone. These things were telling you a reality. Even today, our president was officiating ZNS. He mentioned to say, the money is there. These statements, I'm not making them up. He said the money is. Now, the question that I have for you, who's, yes, thank you, Madam Irene. Those are called blank checks. Even me, I can issue you a bank check, but except for me, if it bounces, I'll be arrested. You understand? That's the only difference between me and the government. If I issue you a blank check, I'll be arrested if it defaults. But the government, because it's working with its bank, Zanaco, it can't be held accountable for anything. They're able to call the Zanaco general to say, come here, every check is valid according to us. And they'll say, yes, sir. Coming to the appointments, that appointment for our brother, may I congratulate him, Pilato. Congratulations, but now I'm challenging him here. Those who are watching, if you know him, tag him. Me, I know him personally. I want to see you advocating for the same things that you are advocating for. Because if you stop, we will know what is behind your appointment. We don't want to go with the rumors. I personally, as Mr. Chipoka, I don't work on rumors. I don't want to hear this about you and that. I just want you yourself to prove it. You are advocating for the you are advocating for the arresting, the unprofessional arresting of citizens. You are advocating for violence. You are advocating for a lot of things. Continue, my brother. If you have to be fired or resign, let it be on that. Then actually, posterity, Dara, our future generations will credit you. They will salute you. But if you are there, because look, my brother Pilato, you are condemning this government of doing wrong things, but you're in the boat now. So, the choice is yours. If in the boat, what you see is opposite from what you were seeing when you were not there. Yes, you should be able to tell us, guys, me, I was wrong, and forgive me for contradicting the government, for pointing at them fingers. I was wrong because actually they are correct. But if indeed you were right and you are standing your ground, if up to now they still do the same thing, tell them to say, me, I'm jumping off the boat because I cannot be part of what I was advocating against. Then I'm telling you, our future generations will live to remember you. But if you want to cut, you have got a very big future. And a lot of people have seen that. That's why the entire nation is congratulating you. A very big one. But if you want to cut yourself short, it's very easy to cut yourself short. If you're going to be led by a blind man or a blind woman or a blind leader, that is yours to take. But if you want the leadership that you have accepted to do the right thing, then all the best. To our youth, let me tell you, my brothers, the better Zambia that we dream about will not fall from heaven. God has given you life and wisdom. Two things that he gives every person, and each of us, he gives us 24 hours to live in a day. Each one, 24 hours, 25 hours. We all have 24 hours in a day. It's up to how you use your time. If you want, you can use your time to poke me, insult my mothers here on this forum. That's up to you. But it will serve you no good, because today you insult me. This is 21 hours. You insult me. Tomorrow you wake up with an empty stomach. Tomorrow you walk on foot from to and where you are going. The rains will pour on you. The streets will make your trousers dirty because there are no pavers where you are living. You got a clinic without medicine. Reality will still catch up with you. So if you insult me, at least do yourself a favor that you have really worked hard, honestly, and you have earned a good living. Otherwise, my brother, insulting me here is useless. Otherwise, you should be here joining me to say, my brother, how do we make things better? Because you might be eating. You might have a Toyota Corolla driving today with a full tank. That child of yours lose 5 years. Unless you keep that Corolla for them till they are 30. Otherwise, for them it will be bad. If you can't see reality now, things are going from bad to worse. What we didn't have in the last 6 months was a few clinics not having drugs. A few. I'm a hospital. But now it's the entire country. The Pharmaceutical Association is saying declare a state of emergency, and they are there trying to point a finger. All these mother bodies, they have seen to say things are bad, and you want to say bitterness. You want to point a finger. Good luck, my brother. If you can afford money to go and buy medicine in a clinic, good for you. But for me, who is a taxpayer, I pay tax. Everything I buy, even bubblegum, I pay tax. I should expect drugs in the clinic. Even if I can afford a scheme, I should have drugs in the clinic. It should be my choice to go to a government clinic or a private one. But the government needs to offer these services, because not to keep them in the coffers, not to keep them in the coffers. You're not supposed to keep money in the coffers when people don't have drugs. You keep money when you have excess products, panganda. When our farmers have fertilizers, they're supposed to be fertilizer. Then you can keep money in the coffers. What is the money for? If you are in touch with the leaders, ask them on my behalf, because me, as I speak, some of them don't even respond to my phone calls. What is the money for? Shanshindarama. Mama, you can pick it up, please.
Mama Monica, the floor is yours.
Totela sana kwena na bafyo waikate cha panshi. Na bafyo waikate chinwa cha panshi kumashiwi. Aya alanda umwana wesu fiye chibemba chisoso kutila. Imiti kula empanga. Ngana mono umwana wandi Chipoka lela ndo msangi ndabo wansansa. Pantu nishina ishu kutila na ngwe kafwa. Muchalo muli abana. Abale kulo kulingana nefumbe. Mwana wandi alanda mashwa ya kankalanga nshi. Uwi ngatali kafepalia ya mashiwi walanda. Niba tuliemo. Baputi. Bakali ngo bakawansekete. Bali abantu abakita balebomba balebombolole emilimo. Nga balebombola. Kayi balefwaya balebombolole emilimo nomba ino myaka tulimo abana besu naberuka tabali kwatiri bali abana twakalya twalekula abashino kuna abacha so chenjereni n'abana abo muleteeka leero chenjereni n'emiseperesho mukwete leero abana mukwete n'abashupa naye kumashui eyo nalapiturukamu ayalanda omwana omwaume ayo nembeko fya yakubulabula mofi nimbulamu amashui yakutira iyi constitution ya mukolonio ulupapulo lwakyalo lwa Zambia lwa mufedulo ulwa mu 19 pendefi kondo 19 poso bwali omwana alukondemo okutira nga kyakwaba ululupapulo lwakyalo kya Zambia talule imini na kwemiti ikula empanga lulupapulo lulefa ikokululekeshapo nokuluchinja pantu imisepera bakana constitution ya chana ngulupapulo lwakyalo pamulandi wakutira talule afuirishe emiti ikula empanga pantu muli ululupapulo lwakyalo lwakane olwa mshingo mwabafire vyale ekitika mukolonio ifile sutinga environment y'abana besu pali leero efirera ndo omwana wandi omwaume elo kabiri na palicho naipusho lyakuti ushe chinshi chilengele ukutira iyi constitution ile ifiriko okutita mali nefile chingwana mwemisepela kanshi na palichi umwana nakondema sana ifile ekitika mukyalo kya Zambia okutira tafiweme ero naiwe puti kabwali sekete kalimongo waulela ndama comment epo tulela ndefyamano bakweba tikaye kalale tokota ero kabiri umwana wesu alanda okutira ayama offices ayabantu lekeni nondolo lepakuti chalo chufu nichibemba alakairi parliament ukubika moma amachikamoneka umo kuna mume kofi alela ndefya bulano bose bali abalela yo kuti naimo kuya bakanda amapyali sana bali shuka pantu shaba munganda amafundi that's why nalicha contest nalefa yopini na nomba bali pusuka ngaba naleba puma every day kanti
Mama, the time is coming. You're saying God's time.
Icho nachitire contest mu 2021 kutira na inini ngaivimbapo ukuiminina na mayo munganda ya mafunde mukanfisa constituency na alichita contest mula nduwa kutira na lefayo kuya mukuma bali abantu abashakwata mano pantifire chitika muchalo takuwe
awa naine kuvoma nkopo prafeni alelanda kuisamu mafyenko patikapu wamutava nolupi panuma
kanshi umwana wesu Chipoka mwana omwaume mitikula empanga asoso okutira ayayene mulebomba machito y'amakola aya machito ayaya kutira na maperfume na musalsa ma offices na yanunkira uli pa reception perfume yakwa boss ile ufika pa reception aya ma offices ababantu abashasambirira abantu abalemana abakoteba mukamfiri bali abonse abantu bayikala pansambushabo tabakwata mono bali ulokya ma offices yabya pantiyo balaya ma offices mubya balaya basange mu abantu abalenukira n'ekisungu ekitali n'ekipi n'ekyakonkapo kanshi abena Zambia abanapenda wira balanda n'abatitikishiwa pamulandu wakana ishi b'ekisungu nangu buchushi umwana wandi alanda okutira ayaye nyama offices y'amasuti balileka n'okwasuka amafoni pamulandu wako batabalefa okulaba kya disted iyo balebomba enkiso shabo no mbanga kyakutira okay mwana wandi walanda efya amaani because ine mu campaign na le campaign okutira nga kwali ba officers yatatu aba very sensitive mukyalo mu Butungurushi nga kwali ba ma officers aba sensitive. Number 1 ni mayor seat chonalandi okutira mayor seat yali ba sensitive ni pamulandi wakutira oyu mayor eupokerera amafya ayaleshingwana n'abantu. Kansha y'amabuteko ya Kikaya amakanso mukibe mbata amabuteko ya Kaya bali abameya nga bayapalya balasangwa n'abantu abalekana balasangwa n'efirema balasangwa n'abantu abanunka balasangwa n'abakote balasangwa n'abalwene balasangwa n'abashiwini balasangwa na landi issue kubuli bali abantu abapokolwe landi yabo mukyalo kyabwe kya Zambia pamaka kuli baputi bakalingongo baka 1 second abantu ababifu aba selfish greediness. Kansha yama officers ya pala ya ba mayor kufight abantu abakwete big heart for the poor, not mayor nanunkila nafwala nensupport wa Italy abika nenkopyo kwa chiru ichomwa okay aisa fwala na powder kwa chiru ero nombala posha nefisungu ifitali nefipi nefya konkapo nomba ulio ule nunka ngaya ingira mbya mu office mushekwa ala sangecha refwala ala butuka fye nkopyo ebere abo basungu bali muno tanchi ili office bifaika omuntu le shooting environment y'abantu abanenunka ule shooting environment y'abakote ule shooting environment y'ama students ma university not mwabula pozile je eo mwaya vote la mwamubika mu office don't kubeba eo mwaya vote la mwamubika mu office elo eli office talifwana bachilende ama ule ya chomba ya ndala ya kunkuma pantulilia office lilapokelera baunge ba mukabe nyabasamba balupia kanshinga bayasanga moni chilende mwabika mo awe lya shilimbi bakulako okufabe mu office kukone kali kuma guest house kila mkula ngefi atile palwangala kati so kanshi na palichi umwana wesu akondemo kutila ayama offices tayari inile iyo abantu balimo n'abakwate emitime ya lubana kanshi ababene ebalenga na bakateka ishina lyabo ukula umfika sana kubalanda okutila limbita baletwafwa ni pamula ndo okutila abantu bo babika muri ma offices mu tabakwate ekibote no mutende kubalanda ero ilamo kutila balanda ebavota majority balanda abata balanda abakankala tabavota lilyamule vota nisha bakankala n'abapululuka nendeke abakankala baletamba ma DSTV kumono ko balanda bale bakakawula no kubaputula mono kwatula amenso wanyeka muzi sera tubombe kanchi na palicho na lala ndo kutila umwana wandi umusapela na kondema abantu baba mu office kutila tabale bomba bwino kubalanda iyo bale bomba minimo bali bachetekele nombe chichetekelo na chichepa pamulando wakutila tabale bomba bwino tabale pokela abantu bwino umulando wa white supremacy ama suit filia bale fwala bakale na bafwala ma suit because if you are colonize each chalo Zambia po chifikile te chakufwala suit chakufwala work suit na jombo na eomi Zambia po ifikile te yakufwala suit na katambala ka white kada kalenda na bakeke Zambia po ifikile na ishupa Zambia ile faika wisdom na knowledge ukufisankanya ero mwala teka kunyo chalo Shumwana wani Chipoka alanda bamulandi wa CDF ati CDF chachi nyalandine binwe ompundu kutila CDF ni scam na ine kwena kutina babunte muno mukafisa constituency shishi benifinge fya bomba ko CDF chabe pyo fi pantu shilemona mulandi wa problem monkwete ile faika na checking because shilefi mona kanshi balanda okutira mukyalo kyesu kya Zambia bakateeka bene bali londolola okutira mwebe na Zambia mukipawo kya kyalo Bank of Zambia basusuile ama mashini bayabika palapa John Chinena ama mashini ukusokola ya ndalama ukuya banka muma ule ya chomba ukwisa mona matranka ya ndalama kuma ule basokweli ama mashini ya lupia mu Bank of Zambia ukuya banka muri bafirembe bafirera balanda nombapa ubuteko ba president abe ne balanda okutira ikyalo kya Zambia nombapa Bank of Zambia na Equatoria ifipendwe findi ero kashi mwana wesu walanda okutira nga kyakutira ati kirienda lama bafumishe baya banka mu maule apa nomba bakateeka n'abayashigwisha kirienda lama emoshiri kinsha abantu balafuira mu fatalo kwa bulemiti kinsha mafla diala benako bushe kinsha lengo kutira bakapukola bale folo kunya mpuko kinsha lengo kutira imisebo imba uke everyday ma accident bushe kinsha lengo kutira tusungirire ndalama nibe natukwata mafia ayo tuleshingwa nayo mwana wandi Chipoka ibitikula empaka ine omunaisa mupeji naisa munga funde abakwini mpumi pakutira mama ketia na bote byabo bayikala pansa mbushabo bale kwato kumfo na palicho umwana wandi Chipoka musepela ule ina ko imisepela cha Zambia alanda okutira ichita chiwe mena kalya pantunga twaye bati tukalya oyu mwaka nga balafu apa n'ensala nibanga nga twaye bati yo tukalya oyu mwaka nga balafu omufipatala omulandu wa miti nibanga bushe tukayaba busha na twakalyeko emashiru ya kilalanda umwana wesu umwaume kanshi na palicho ine mamatika monekana alalunda pofia utuma shimitwandi utu nono nganshi utu akutira chachi ni omwana wandi alandile okutira constitution nangu lupapulo lwa kyalo lwali suminisha onso wanunka onso mulanda nomukote ukuya kwi office likala mbere abakateeka ukwabula okubika kwa masipana nangu kwi office yaba meya na kwi office yaba MP twalikuwa tensa mbushi kalamba nomba pabushikuwale mwana wandi alanda okutira takwaba umuntu yakulya ya offices umulandi wakutira kwali baba puti badire aba ikala pamishi aba shifwa abantu kuyanga ni ku State House na kwali ba masipana nimpo mwaka okufayo kubona bakateeka kutinga nababike enkomeno echo winga papa kansha papene epo na perela na ine na tashe milimo wabo mwana omwaume kabiri nokukusapota apakalamba nganshi bantu inga ndaba kwini mpumi ilando kutira chishi twala shira abana che twala bashiro okuba twala bashiro obwenso ule wine bakwente mukwa mwawe lenchiki nangula twala bashiro kwisuka menso kubona kutira ifile pitinga na mchalo file pitinga na bwino na totera mkwai.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Mama. So I think you have any comments, my son, before we can make a last comments and close. Any comments?
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am. I just want to appreciate those that have been commenting, and I want you to understand one thing. Those of you who are thinking the UPND government is heaven and earth, the president yesterday himself, and I quote, he said, what we are doing today is for the future, and even governments to come after us will find them. End of quote. Now I'll pick on the last words, governments to come. What he was simply saying, and you know, some of these things we take them for granted. Kind of can deal. You think if you're so fire, if you're in such people, try to be sensitive about certain statements. The one who was speaking is not only president of Zambia.
but he was speaking also as president of a party. So let me explain to you what that word means, that even in governments to come, he's very aware that the UPND won't be there for life. For him to use that word, I'm not saying he's going out in 2020 Chan or the Chan, that is for God knows what. But what I'm saying is he knows that he's going to leave office. He knows very well. And he truly knows that his government will one day leave office for another government. So he was not foolish to say even governments to come. You can even hate him for that statement. Our president in governments to come. The man is wise and he knows the reality. He knows one day we will leave. So the question that is there is, you can deal away. I should let you know that the same things we're doing to past governments, we have audited them. I'm not pointing a finger, not only PF. This was happening from the Kaundas. There's been audits, there's been investigations. The same thing will happen to the UPND. So don't think that years will hide you. You know the fun thing about years, Mami? Ama years, whether walayo muntuati, I'll see you in 2030, ikafika. It might sound far, but ikafika. That's the funny thing about time. Kuti walayo muntuati, ukamwe next week, ilafika. Kuti ya mfuko kutani, ilafika. Nene mwele mba 2031, ikafika. Teka nini. So for you, MPs, councillors, candidates, be aware in your mind that ikafika. It might not be tomorrow, but ikafika. And I'll tell you the truth. This that you are doing to us, the youths. Let me speak now for the youths. And before I close with that statement on behalf of the youths. When the government of the Kaundas was fighting independence before being government, they knew what they were in for. They knew that there will be death. So the youth in the fiction. When we start talking like this, don't think we are ignorant. Tomorrow you can just hear that Chipoka. Don't be surprised. We know what we are in for, but we know what we are doing. Oh, they have picked a dead body. We know what we are in for. And the problem with some of us is we are very much prepared for some of those things. Because even if you kill me today, one day you meet me under the soil. You will kill me today. Yes, I'll go quicker. But you meet me either by natural death, but you meet me down there. You're not supernatural. So when the KKs were doing that, they knew what to call wakafwa, kata, free, knifey. They knew. They were not ignorant, but they said, to hell with it. We are going to take what's ours. And that is what I have to tell the entire country. You call us names, but we know what we are talking about. Our children would live to celebrate us, to say, my father did what was right. That's why I'm here. My brother did what was right. That's why I'm here. My mother did what was right. That's why I'm here. For you, who's always condemning, we hope your son can never spit at your grave for being a coward. We hope that you, because I have another race, mind you, to that mad digital generation, bako busy. Esa mitukira pamanda ba mayo nango batata. Kisa mituka pamanda ko wechimu kya cha upuba abana be bale lo buntungu ayo na we abela mu bedroom ne findalama. They'll come and spit on your grave, and you will be cast as a parent. So the truth is, be aware that time it's an eye-opener for you who are surrounding the governing, the everything. Be aware that time will come. And this thing that you're doing to us, the youths, if it continues, I'm sorry our parents, but yours will be 10 times, because what you are doing, if you don't know, when Tungurushi, if you are listening, you are creating anger in our hearts. Every time Mr. Chipoka calls you to complain, you shut them off. Every time my brother from Winilunga calls you, you shut them off. Every time my sister from Southern Province complains, you arrest them. Every time my brother from Northwestern complains, you beat them. Every time when my sister from Central Province complains, you harass them. You are building an anger. And that anger will eventually catch up with you. I thank you for tonight.
Thank you. So I have a few things that I want to say before we go. And thank you for that powerful discussion. You know, you just brought out things in a different way, you know, and it's powerful coming from the youth. You know, we are all disappointed with the current government just in the approach. They are not prioritizing Zambians. In this government, human beings, social services are like nothing to them. And I think it's about high time we had a government that invests in people. Instead of a government, we had a government, PF, the government, they invested in people, but they were selecting to whom to empower. PF was investing in people, but they were selecting. Now we have this UPND government, which is just about building a high bank balance. They are about building a high bank balance, and they are not investing in people. The country is literally in shambles. We expected them to hit the ground running to fix a lot of things in our country. So we find ourselves here as human rights activists. Like for me, I saw a comment to say, somebody said I'm emotional. I'm emotional because I campaigned for this government day and night because of the promise they gave to the people. So how do you think I feel here? Coming back to tell the people who are dying because there's no medication, to tell a youth who is hired and posted to go at a school where there is no accommodation, who hasn't received their money. This government is basically operating on fraudulent conditions. They came into the scene on lies. They lied to the people. It's lies every day. We are eating lies for breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's lies 24/7. So how can I not be emotional? Because people are telling me that I misled people. I know that a lot of people voted for UPND because of my campaign. We had a huge campaign. So it's painful to me. It's painful for me to see this government deceive the Zambians. This government sacrificed Zambians. This government taking the power of Zambians and exporting it to the neighbors. When Zambia is only 40% electrified, why can't they take what they're exporting to electrify the entire Zambia? You know? And for you people who are supporting things that are going wrong, ask yourself, what legacy do you want to leave? We are all going to die. I know people will tell me bitterness will kill me. Yes, we are all going to die, but I would rather die standing on the right side of history. Ask yourself, when you die, what will people say about you, your mother, your children, your grandchildren? Zambia, we have been battling. We're actually mature age country, almost 60 years. We need to have something to show for our 60 years of independence. We need leaders to be patriotic and share the national cake. I always say Zambia will have more money than people.
60 years, Mama. 60 years.
60 years. 60 years.
Years, our police officers only get one pair of boots in a year.
Imagine.
60 years, our teachers have to walk 2 kilometers from their thatched house to a school to go and teach. 60 years, our soldiers cannot afford to get a good loan from a bank. They are always lining up at Finca, at
Get a
Unified.
good loan, minimum wage. Minimum wage. Why can't people are getting 1,200 a month? Honestly,
And we have money in the coffers.
500 kwacha a month.
We have money in the coffers.
The thing
I
they
think
could have done is even just increase the minimum wage. Everyone 5,000 kwacha across the board.
Don't worry, Mama. On that one, I think I can use this statement here on this platform. We know what we are doing underground. A time is coming when that police officer will get 10,000 salary. Because the money is there. A time is coming.
You know,
A time is
over
coming.
here, Chipoka is one of the most of highly paid civil servants here. Because once you secure an officer, a politician can't bribe them.
That's what I'm
Secure
saying.
our police officers, give them the power to defend the constitution. That is number one. You are underpaying these people by design so that they are susceptible to corruption. We say no to that. Pay our defense forces what is due to them. Pay them. Come 2026, this should be priority agenda. If anyone should be overpaid and highly paid, it should be a police officer. Kuno police officer guys at so apa. Officer.
No, I know, Mama. You know, I have to say this. I've been to countries where people respect police officers not because of the uniform, but they respect them because they can sustain. They are not looked at to say, no. They are
highly paid. Pension yawe yo million pension yawe akapokola kuno. I lose my million retirement.
That time is coming. It's coming.
It better be soon.
Yeah,
we cannot we cannot have selfish leaders as a president, a country. You are the father of the nation. Make sure every home has the food on the table. You know me, I expected even for a bonus to be announced yesterday. I expected that every Zambian maybe 500 kwacha or something. Abantu balila nasana because I was a teacher. Gatwa increase. Okay. But back date pay 6 months. Kaunda used to do that. He will backdate our pay for 6 months. He had a heart for the people. But Pari Kaunda na Pari Nosha Turende, I think they are much worse. And you have a president who's saying we have money in the bank. Whom are you trying to impress when your children are dying? You know what? My priority was to educate my children. I don't even have assets. Now that is when I'm trying to build my assets because you know what? I invested in my children. My children, they are all educated. They have everything they want. Now I can do me. Kutina kulenganda, kutina chitefyo ndefuaya because I have taken care of them. That is governing of a country. We are being sacrificed as a country. We are being sacrificed. Our mining licenses, Zambian taipoke. License, they want a 10% commission. We know that. So that's why these foreigners who are coming with US dollars, that's why they're getting licenses. A Zambian like you and me, now have 10% of 500,000. So we are saying these UPND, they are worse than PF. They are worse. Vale pinga fiat yaba PF vale chita na inewi nenka ya kufi chitelo bena bachita over because they came, they promised us other things. But chena ma promise. But why ingira mwe no bachita fiat fine. So they are going faster than they came. They are going. Mwambe vyokulonga, mwambe vyokulonga, because Zambian population is 53%. Bana bari under 17 years. So this 50, Mama, let me just finish. This 53% of Zambians, they are under 17. So this 53%, by the time we reach 2026, they will be eligible voters. And in 2026 is going to be rich people versus poor people. Election ikabako. Rich people versus poor people. Fresh politicians versus recycled politicians. Tell me who will win. And this election will be on social media. We are on a campaign. If you want to buy a relative a smartphone. Everything we are talking smartphone. I received a call yesterday. A friend was telling me, the partial right, smartphone, and he went to peep. Guess what? They were watching this show. So if you are buying a gift this Christmas, buy a smartphone, because this is the tool we are going to use to educate masses. Cell phone Zambia and you won't say at least one hour, every family should have one. This is how if matters are information is being distributed all around the world. It's a cell phone. Politician nice we are longanaling on the internet. We don't need a police permit to kulongana by internet. We don't. Thank God for social media. No police permit. Smartphone. It is rich people versus poor people. 2026. Recycled politician versus fresh politician. And the women. Banamayo imeni. Tusungi abana besuichalo chesu abana. They are all under 17 years. 53%, 9 million Zambians, 9 point something. No. That's why this government can do what they are doing, because they know that they are leading young children. And they are saying that people are to shut up. No, but God is raising other people. We are planting a seed. We want more Ellington Chipokas on this platform. In fact, we don't even want more of Ellington. Nangwenga bafyeke ekalelanda kabili ninda that number play social media. If Ellington Chipoka can be preaching every day and you share that video to everyone, Zambia will be informed. We don't even need Pilato. Shame on him. And lastly, I want to say, then all the elections, politician, all these elections nowadays, Obama, when he came, his election was won on Facebook. Joe Biden, now we need an election, Joe Biden, it was on TikTok. That's how Biden won that election, on TikTok. 14 years pangama videos. No kula pera bafyashi. No kula bafyashi wa watch for trend Joe Biden. So Zambian population, they are on TikTok. So I ama nalinga tu apangama video mwabula boy kweti amano mwachisa share TikTok. I end here, Mama. The floor is yours.
Before Shalaisa, could you comment your ex-Yuda Mwenya? For comment your ex-Yuda?
And issues should be broken down to a layman to understand economics and arithmetics. My old grandma won't understand intellectual language. It is true. Because in that speech, when I listened to the presidential speech, I was like, who is going to understand all this? Who is going to sit there for 3 hours and to digest when people just need medicine, water, electricity, and food on the table, and clean roads and shelter? 6 things, that's what people need. Talk about what you're doing about the road. Talk about what you're doing about medicine in the hospitals. Talk about why abantu bali akana mameda. Those are real issues affecting people. Who knows about the treasury? Does a villager in Shangomo know about the treasury? They know that they want to fertilizer, and they know that Zesco promised them to put electricity. That's all they care about. So let's bring it down a notch. Let us, I think this government is so disconnected. White supremacy ulionse fala suit para nama jacket. Kuno mamilionea baba maku America kuno bafana teka short na ka t-shirt. Kuti wa mtu kanga wa musanga na pamusebo. Ama milionea ba kuno. Nga wasanga pilot so na fala te chiskipa net shirt wa umone panga ndo pale ingine. Umone moto, but some they are not even into cars. Moto kalensha fika Corolla, simple car, Honda. But they have money wingile mu fridge already. If you are fire, alleged if you are fire. By using assembly that is so youth. I was taking a video the other day of my neighborhood. Mudiaba ichema leka na mudia mfima yanda. Ba di sambili langa wa sambili that is so into ile kurorera. They are making opportunities for their children and generations to come. Na lilanda kwa chkwali wama SDGs ya UN to end hunger and poverty by 2030. What is the Zambian government doing to do for that? In the speech, did I hear anything to talk about the sustainable development goals of 2030? Did I hear anything about the sustainable goals for development for 2030? Did I hear anything to end poverty in the world? Because that's what all the countries are doing. Areas, opening up new areas, upper land, Bayakula, Chipatala, Imistable Wamia, Kunamulalo, Musewona, Mwabu Coluchelo, Musewona Wamia. It's a planning. But I can see from yesterday's speech, there is no plan for human beings. The only plan is kula ingishe pia mubanki, no kula pera ma foreigners, kuntansh. Everybody kuntansh ma foreigners. It's so sad. I'm done. Welcome, my son. The floor is yours.
Hey, Mama, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Another 30 minutes.
Because not you will connect with your youth. So then they can relate.
How ningu for wino sana mandini program ye ile nimbona abantu bale abadesa ngala wandi ningu for wino jami ngo kumachiralanda na cha musende omwana na sabo mpya ma headset na cha mufezi ko muledada ningu for wino sana na mu start create wino sana ebo bantu tulefuaya bako bati ale stangalia ale fisamaru ale landa mune fya kudya mukano awo tulefu afunyamwe fya kudya ishi ulya mfika I was very disappointed. Dukumona ati bamdana basta appointee ba activist nabanani aba ba activist
ba musician tibaranishina lyabwa ba Pilato le muntu walenda mu PF lya kula pangeni mbo mu PF no mnankwe beeflo namba shishi benga bali bashitotulo na bashitotulo namba walalanda shani we muntu na bakupere nchito ukalanda shani wala tukawa boss ni not fresh walalanda shani Pantra na finanga vile kumanga bata bakala na chipota bakala nde ba Pilato nomba deni mbota bakala funya na ba beeflo bali ku America na ba mwene pa bali ku America kuno bakalanda shani nomba tira bali landa mu PF mama tuflo bale fuwa matwala landa PF kantu muntu ndebuksha Lumumba na mwisho Lumumba uyu Lumumba wako Kenya Patrice Lumumba bali mwipuisha ma journalist because twaimona wakata ma followers and netuntu randa fila panga sense. Are you inspiring any position or do you think like you can stand as a president? I can never know. Doesn't mean that you have to be in government for you to make a change. No, you can make a change wherever you are. I don't want to be a president. Now open a point so I can change things. Now, if these people who used to speak when things went wrong in PF, now they are giving them jobs, how are they going to speak? No, but
you know what is your name, Wanawandi?
Alex.
So, yes. Lesa. Everything is a lesalish bapyonse. Lesalish wako tulefu manoko tuleya. Pilato ba musenda. But what? Guess what? You are here today. Ellington Kopai is there. That is the circle of life. The test ya kwa lesa. Lesa la tuchita test. Nina nuya ba usende na mubika kachuru ba mulange chalo chonse. You have a choice. In any matter, you have a choice. In an Alilanda, you know, when I was campaigning for UPND, because of their vision, I was like, maybe I can work with these people to save Zambia. But now, I'm like, hell no. Don't even waste your time because Nangu appointment in this, I won't take it. I will not take it. See, for the record, 13 said them wanting to me when Kalad, Yanga Kubo, Baba shift double, Yakanjipaya. I will not take it an appointment. No, Bubu Teko, Ule Chushava, and do. I want to know because who take who. Uku for Bantumale, why me to Fatata money, and then I don't want to be part of that. I can't be part of that. Yes.
Kweni mkumi epo mwana wandimwa umetala puisha na lalanda kofia mashu ya kutila filafine na lalanda kutila tuwapereko another 3 years baka bomba because chalo cha Zambia bali sasa na vandalize eti bakwanishe mu 1 year 6 months na ngumuri 2 years na aliko serious lekeni tuwapereko another 2 years na 3 years akwati tumone fyo bala bomba mwebana
Mama,
Yashi. Legeni mbaske bamaye. Bamaye mwilala ndefe bamaye. Mwilala alomutimanga mwala ndefe wakati mwabika bumba wala mumesha yaka.
Alex, you know, I'll tell you one thing, my brother. I'm with you on this one, Mama. I beg to disagree. Let me. I've always given you this example, Mama. I've told you kweva tipweva rumendo eno tipweva na mrekusha. Na tuwasendo mwana pa lulanga tuwamusenda panganda. Nishtwarike na kumba tule ilaya nga kusunge finka la kushtile vitenge nga na kumopo na kukuleta katope. Ababa UPND vyonali ati nishita ya chepa. In fact, we need reforms so that you could take Zambia for 3 years. 3 years is very, very okay for you to see policy direction. Kutu wamona mtu kwa kutwala. Eona mchupo mama ngepo chana tukwale ma elections after 5 years ngafira pwe few ponde mieva. Ngafira po. Ababa UPND they were speaking on top of their voices about electricity. Tarifi kwata. But lelo bambo kulombensta. Ianshi mametu twakana taya bombe taya 5 years ya 3 years impact nangu ni lero okay bamdala nga bayumpa sana ati nebo mdala date ama elections leo tu
Yabeko.
Mr. Don of Power. Mane ni umfadila Don of Gambia. We are going to fix things. Awe ni na babaloti hapo pena. Na ine kutina iposa hapo kwena.
Ala nduma yandi. Jefe na walanda. Efu na yele na bamayeshi kwa mashika mweneka last time. Njele waebo mwana kashiwa mulaya. Yeno example, same example wa mulaya. Munganda tafide mweneka wanu manti ala ishipa. Ambo kula lensa na kwa fiashari nine. Tati man. Mara bale ituntumba. Kuma 10 hours. Mwilala mamaye. 10 hours. 14 hours. Dola ni shashashani.
Awe mana ufweni. Awe mwewa ne itop sana. Ufweni niebe. Kwe mwana wandi Alex na Chipoka ufweni. Ama politics ya Africa. Munkonke sana. Ama politics ya Africa. Yaba kwati mwana kashi. Ule fwayo kupwa. Umwana kashi nga mwana tunafika 16 years, 17, 18. Amba okisipika limo mulume wakwe. Ulio mwana kashi ala target ata ganafika pa 40 years shakopwe. So kanshi apapele pali 20 years na amba okuyiwania. Kanshi uyo mwana ala tampo kubika ma wetru ala mbo kwamye mishi ala mbo kubika ma spices kumubili ala bika kwenkopyo ala bika kwa ma lipstick ala fuala powder ala fuala okima legging ala iselinga ai ya fiance fiale bika potisha lefuaya omwami ngau papanganda palyanga ya panganda bushe uli omwana kashaka fuala polibili nkopyo shiliale pita nasho akameka polibili kuli nishapwa
Mbabala fuala mai.
Umfa mwana wandi chimo nama politics ama politics umuntu ngale imini nabika kwa ma spices barabika ko don't kubeba wiralirash yali ayonse ma spices so apopeni hapo epale fwa ikanomba imwe ba youth ukumakinga sure i system ya ma spices iya kubika mo bufi iya kubika mo ma spices iya kubika mo bushesi bose bati wali fora tatwa fola ukepije ba PF yonse ya ma spices na ine mama chikaweka na lifunyolu imbwa chaka ine kaweka te aga ine kawele ba PF ni bakaola la Nuliolu imbwa lwali ya vairo yonse ya ma spices no mbanga bawina te ko batira spice barapele bala wamyawe. Give them another 3 years.
Mama, I can tell you, they can ama spices yale bombakale before social media, because this government was controlling all the medias. Ama TV, ZBC wale controller, ama radio station wale isala, ama page yale, ama kweti abantu wale isala. No, but we are in a different era where you were Ellington and Alex. You can create pages and share the truth. So they are done for now. Moving forward, our politics, Yama Spices, have gone away with the coming in of the internet, because everything is in real time. You can't lie to people.
Exactly.
They will check you right there. They can't control my page, because ZNBC they used to censor stuff. But who goes to ZNBC anymore? Who ZNBC for their news, Ninan? Because now they show that it's fake news. It's news which is made to make the government look good. You can go ahead, my son.
Mwafiashi mwachika monika. Kamwalanda ama politics ya Afrika. Ifo yaba nshi like number mulebika kwenkuni. Mwamwana. Mwafiashi mumune muzambia turi muri abalekara buri nabale chula. Takabati nebanga chura na ofure wa chura pane bana chura nishinga if you have that capacity ukushitenga if yakula panga ndabana baikala buni nisho akongesha neba awe ngato atlonde pali poka gami. Have you seen what Poka Gami has done in his country? Just give an example to Poka Gami. Where is he? Is he not Africa? Look at things he has done. Look at things he has done, Paul Kagame. So ngabale shibati must we talk about Rwanda. It's better by color. If not, you can't work for the people. It's better you just sit and do something else. And you for someone akashine no kuteka na sana. You're talking about thousands of people, not two one akashine.
Yes.
That's a difference.
Millions of people. Millions.
Billions of people. Life yabantu, they depend on you. Chimono wa doctor on a patient. Everything will happen on that patient. They'll blame the doctor. Doctor, finish what you know. Kuna magugu push up. You have to write a report. What intervention did you do? What happened? Number if we President guys are Alande, we have to realize that one politics have politics that you are 3 years, more position, mistakes. Player. Uletamba bora. Tetu ulipa bench wa mo dressing room. Emole tambira bora. No. You have to be pressed pa bench. Now uletamba bora mayo. Echo ilenda. So ba coaching ba kuingisha. Now we show Mr. Sumira Chilapanga.
Yes.
Berencha yempanga area. Ba change ba no position. Ba le mo mistakes. They ba ingra ba kala punch penalty yo to 3 years.
Bene Valeria, if Valendra mufima miuto karionse di pandeke okula. Yo ba posa mkwenda mundeke nishinga. Tekite miti mufipatala.
Tamuri, Mario, if you want to know these people that are eating money, muka check ama balance back with before tabala ministers and check it now. Muka sangepo wala ikala fefile ngani 2 rooms wala ikala mna namba ngabeka muri 2 rooms. Ngamoto kabale Zambia
nati mumuwe patient. Wena babambi bachingisha chama zip code. Kwa unina my election mu August, by December they had changed their zip code. Bali kuka. Ama election yali mu August October, by December we know that some of these people mu UPND bali chinji ama zip code bali chitane myotoka na mafamu. Elo na mawinga bana babo bale opwefima wedding twaleta mbako fie. Abana beswati mukopa after 5 years. Bena abana babo bale bofia. Shame.
Mwanaranda 3 years. Bena bana onkele muni 1 year.
Bale ofia abana babo.
Muni 1 year within 1 year mulenda kumwafia shwe. Naba chinje yetu.
Mulenda bale pangira emu ama birthday party. Bale kuipangira keke. Umwana mu Zambian, a child of the Zambian soil is sleeping under a bridge.
He's living on $1 per day, man. $1 per day. $1. Yeah, go on. Alafu pene pana rangu 20,000 hasa pena ngulindi.
Wait. My brother Alex, just there. You are saying $1 per day. Which dollar per day? My brother. $1 is 18 kwacha. Katushinga 17. It is no. I can assure you to say no ishta. Me, I can. If you one day, what I would do is I'll sacrifice. Ngapangira live broadcast ine tukwata pano kwachi puluku. Ubushiku 21 hours bana venga wana market. So atinka lete ba mona ngo babira bashicha mtown. Bashichemisa rushita tu nisha komboka. Achodo museke ashape tutatu. 2 quarter 6 kwacha no kwinuka inuka kawa. So when you say $1, mleva chinda mika. Look, mama chika moneka. You are a mother, and I'll be honest with you. Ide nshita, ide yakali, ide vale shita kama politics ya ufi ya shani, it should come to an end. The generation has changed. The population has increased. We don't need such. Now we need the